Hi everyone, it's Martin from martinsmayhem.co.uk. I hope you're all well. Today we're going to be creating this card that you see here. It's using some product from Papertrey Inc.'s March release. The stamp set and coordinating dies I'm using are always in bloom that you see here, and these just work perfectly together, and it's so easy, just so easy. I've already used some of the stamps, so they're already mounted and ready to go. And I'm just going to pop these in here so that I can keep my dies and my stamp sets together in one place. I've got the dies out because we are going to do some die cutting a little bit later, but I'm going to move out of the way. The sentiment is is Reflections. And it's March, so if you just search that on their website, you'll be able to get in or find it. And there's also coordinating dies that you can purchase separately, which just works so beautifully. And yeah, you're going to see me use that shortly. So let's just get started. Is it still in shot? Yes, wonderful. I have got some craft cardstock. So this is Crumb Cake from Stampin Up, but any craft cardstock will do nicely. Now this measures 10.5 centimeters by however long a piece of cardstock is, 29 I believe, and scored at 14.8, and that just gives us UK standard C6 card. Now I know cardstock differs in the UK in comparison to the US or other countries, but it just gives us a standard C6. If you're gonna make this card and you're in the US, just do half of a sheet of A4. So I'm gonna grab some cream cardstock as well. I've just put that out of the way, but I do need this. And I'm gonna do a matte layer, 0.5 centimeter smaller. So that is 9.5 by 13.8. And that just gives us a nice little matte layer. So we have a craft border and a nice layer behind, like so. Now before I move this, do I need to do any more cutting? I don't think so. Okay, I'm gonna put it out of the way. You watch, we will need it. I am gonna grab my Misty, he says. Move out of the way. Move that completely out of the way. Bring in my Misty, and I'm gonna put on our sentiment like so. I'm gonna grab some more cream cardstock. Now I'm gonna stick this in the middle because I want to be quite liberal, as I'm going to stamp first and then die cut so I can get it straight, but you want to make sure you have enough room all the way over. So that's in place. I'm going to grab an anti-static bag like so, and then I'm just going to ink this up with some Versamark, and we're going to emboss this in gold. Now you don't want to put any of your embossing powders away because you're going to need them, because we are doing a little bit more later on. So I'm just going to give that a gentle rub. Peel that up. So I can see I've got a good impression, so that's good. So that can go away. I'm going to grab my gold embossing powder. Sprinkle that over like so. Give it a good tap to clear off any excess. I'm going to give it a little blow. Okay, there we go. Now we're just going to quickly heat set that. Okay, so that's looking amazing. So I'm just going to give it a little second to cool down. Now, if you were to get little bits around, I wouldn't worry too much because I'm going to do an ink splatter afterwards. Because what is a card without an ink splatter? I'm just grabbing the reflection dies, and we are going to be using the largest one. So I'm just going to grab that and my die cutting machine. Put that back a little bit. Now, I'm just going to pop this on like so. So how I'm lining it up is kind of looking at these kind of 4 points to make sure it's roughly even. I'm going to grab a post-it note as well, just because the card's a little bit warped, so I'm just going to want to hold that in place with a post-it. I'm just going to tear that off so it doesn't jam up, and then pop that in like so. Yeah, that's fine. Run it through, and you only need to run it through the once. And by running it through, it's going to help flatten it out, which we have there. Okay, so it's good to go. Don't put your die cutting machine too far because we have got a lot of die cutting to do. I have done a lot of it ahead of time, just try to be organised, but I still want you to see how fabulous these dies work. So, I'm bringing in some scrap paper, and I'm going to just bring in some more cream card, and then the colours. So I wanted to go for an autumny vibe. I know that it's not autumn anymore, but I felt like it just really worked. So I've gone for a powder pink, pear pizzazz, which is our green curry, which is like a yellow, orangey yellow, and cherry cobbler. And where are the stamps? Here. So I'm using all 3 floral images in the set. And the cherry cobbler is the largest. So I'm just going to ink that up, and I'm going to stamp it off like so, and then stamp it down. Now, I'll go through how many of each you'll need, so do not worry. But we're not going to stamp all of the ones we need because, as I said, I've tried to be organised for once in my life. I'm just going to move it out of the way. So then the second stamp, you're going to just leave at full intensity. So you're not going to stamp that off. And if you want it perfect, you can line it up to be perfect. However, with these kind of stamps, I feel like it's sometimes nicer that it's not perfect. Like, have some bits not sitting right, have it a little bit wonky. It just adds to the interest. But you could always just use your Misty or a stamp positioning tool just to line it up. That's one flower. Then we're going to go on to crushed curry, and that's going to be our medium flower. Now I'm looking and I'm missing one of my stamps because it's right there. Okay, so we've got the full one, which again we're going to follow suit of stamping off and then stamping it down. Now when stamping these, you want to make sure you're leaving enough room between each layer. And I'm just going to ink up the coordinating one, and this time is going to be full intensity. Stamp that down. Now my ink pad is quite juicy, so you are going to want to let that dry and seep into the card a little bit more. It won't look so intense once it's calmed down. And then finally we're going to do powdered pink, which is a really soft pink, which I think just harmonises with the deep burgundy red tone. So I'm going to stamp this full tone onto the card, and then we're going to leave that to dry because we're going to go back in with the same colour a little bit later, straight over the top. And what that's going to do is it's just going to allow us to have some difference in tone. So then I'm just going to do 2 of the leaves. So these are the 2 smaller leaves. In the green, which is the Pebbles. And I'm just going to ink this up now. So the second layer, like so. And I just use this little bottom notch to line it up. Like so. And you can see then you've got the difference in colour, which is fantastic. So let me grab a pencil. Because you want 2 of the big ones, 2 of the medium, 2 of the small, and now I just stamped 8 of each, because the thing is you're always going to need more leaves than you think, okay? Because if you think each flower is going to have 3, potentially 3 times 6, too many. Can't do the maths, not going to do the maths. So they're the ones you're going to want. We are going to go into these and stamp the centres. So let's grab our Versamark again. I would recommend leaving it a little bit. Let that ink actually dry back. But I'm just going to go in and pop on the centre like so. And then this one like so. And actually I've got a couple more here that I've already pre-done, so I might as well do them now. Just give them a little tap and ink it up, stamp it down, ink it up, stamp it down. Now the majority of these flowers are going to be hidden, so I wouldn't worry too much about it getting dead centre. Like so. Wunderbar even, which is German for wonderful. And then you're just gonna ink, not ink these up. Knock off the excess. So you can see there, my ink was still a bit wet, which is what you want to try to avoid if possible. I'm just gonna grab this one. Now I've got my fingers all over these, which is a bit awkward, but hey, this one. There we go. Okay, now that can go away. And let's heat set these a little bit. Oh, and these ones, sorry. There you go. Nice and simple. Now, as I said, I've already done these ahead of time, but I do want to die cut them with you. I want you guys to see how smoothly these die cut. Or how smoothly the dies actually cut out the shapes. And I mean, I think I can do them all in one pass. I don't know if I'm chancing my luck a little bit. So I'm going to pop that one there. I'm going to pop this one here. Now I think, yeah. Can't do them all in one pass, it's fine. Let's take this one out. Now you guys have a better view, so I'm trying not to get my head into shot. Because you guys do not need to see the greys. The greys are getting worse. And I am far too pale to go blonde to try to hide it. So, that's that. Let's pop this down. Oh, move that slightly. Okay, that one's coming out. That one can't come out. This one back in. Like so. This is kind of when I need my post-it note from earlier. Just because of the walk-in. And it's just this one. The rest are okay. Oh, they were. Realign them. Perfect. Pop that in. Then lay that down. Run that through. And there you have your elements. So I'm not going to cut that last one out because, as I said, I've got them already. You don't need to see it. You've seen some. You get the gist. So let's move that out of the way. And now it's for the fun part, which is the assembly. So I only look at this layer when I'm assembling. And this one, I might bring in the base card just to make sure I'm not going over too much. And I mean, on this example, I was careful because you want your card to sit up correctly. So I did offset these leaves so that it didn't impact the card sitting up straight, which I think I would have preferred them hanging off, but hey. So I'm going to grab some foam adhesive, and now you want to do this layer too high, and you're going to be doing it in the center almost. You don't want to go directly on the edges because you want to be able to integrate those florals and the leaves around quite easily. Now, that doesn't mean to say once your leaves and the florals are in place, you can't then go back in and adhere more dimension around. But yeah, you're going to do these too high. He says he doesn't want to get his head in. He's tried not to. But you're going to line that up in the centre, like so. And then it comes the assembly. So as I said, you've got two, two of the pink, and then I've got 8 of each leaf, here and here. And that's just so I've got enough to mess around with. So following suit, you can see that this one's just in here, like so. We have one of these ones just here, and then a little pink one over here. And then it's just about filling that space with the leaves, like so. Now, when I was creating this card, I was so tempted to stamp out the guard again, and heat emboss that, and then add, like, fussy cut it out and stick it up on dimensionals just so that's popped out as well. But I decided against it because of time. So there's how I want those. These are going to be up on dimensionals or foam adhesive. I'm just going to slightly curve this because it is bowed a little bit from the embossing. So that's there like so. Let's grab another one for this one. Like they're all quite buried from the embossing. You can tell I embossed and then die cut last time, can't you? So pop that one there. And again, I'm quite restricting on the adhesive because I want to ensure I have room to pop the leaves in afterwards. Do you get me? I don't want it to be restrictive that I can't put them in. And then this little one up here, just put a little leaf there. A little dimensional there, like so. Now, onto these ones, and following the same suit, just give that a little bit of that. Now, you know what I was really surprised at? Because these are solid images, I was half expecting to have to condition the stamps, but I didn't have to at all. They stamped so beautifully straight away. It was just such a pleasure to use, because you know sometimes you don't want to be faffing about with like rubbing off any residue from these stamps. Like I got straight into crafting with these. It's brilliant. Just pop this one down here. Oh, like so, and then the leaves. And then once that's done, I can go back in and just add some more dimensionals, just to flatten it out a little bit. So I'm going to use some liquid glue, which I just have decanted into this little container, and I'm just going to add a little bit by the stem of the leaf, and then just pop that in like so. And then put this one in, just poking out in this area there. And in fact, I'm going to add a dimensional just behind here. Now that leaf's in place, that's just going to help strengthen that one. Now for this one, we've gone a little pairing. So we've gone almost like that. So let's put this one down first. Now the reason for using these two leaves is because they were much smaller. That I did originally stamp out some of the biggest leaf shape. However, I decided not to go with it because it's quite a busy card, and the last thing you want is one or two big things just overpowering the whole card. So pop that in. Then again, this side, we're just going to do a skinny leaf, pop it out over here, followed by a little leaf. I'm already getting a little bit nervous. I don't have enough leaves. I promise I counted. And then that one's just going to go in down here, like so. And then we're going to do a big one. So I am really excited to do an ink splatter. I love an ink splatter, especially the gold, because I just think it, as you, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like opulent. Like I think there's something about gold that just reads opulence. Now I'm just gonna go in with some more like foam adhesive, which I'm just gonna pop in behind. And this is just helping me secure, like flatten it out and make sure it's not going to move. Because the last thing you want to do is send a card to somebody and it fall apart in the mail. So the more adhesive that I can put on, I tend to do, I just do it in a backwards order so that it sits level. Like so. So there's one element. It's a matter of rinsing and repeating on this side now. So it should be quite quick. And then it's just adding some more dimensionals so that they sit in place. So I'm not happy with that one. That's not sitting right. So let's get some scissors. So where that foam adhesive is, it's just hitting that one ever so slightly, which is a shame. So I've just cut a little bit off and pop that in. Pop that one in there like so. Wonderful. Here we've got a big one. Now this is the off-centered bit, which really bugs me. And it bugs me in the photo as well. But there's a reason for it, and I need to remember that. And then this one over the top here. Same again this side. Okay, I have just got enough. So I did do the maths. I need this one though. And now I know it sounds silly, but you want to alternate the leaves so that they're not always like the small one over the big one. You want to do the big one over the small one, and vice versa. Just so then there is some slight difference. And then one more over here. I'm just going to pop that one in here. Like so. And now let's just bulk it up a little bit down at the bottom. So I'm going to double one up and put that there. Grab another one, pop that one in there, and I think that's leveled it out nicely. So I tried to be organised, and I have actually left my gold inks and splatter. Now this gold ink's from Winsor Newton. When I did this card, I made a right mess. The lid wasn't on properly. So when I shook it, it just went everywhere. You want to give it a good shake because all that pigment's at the bottom. So you want to get hold of it. And I'm just using a old water painter. And I mean, it's old. And there's no water in it. But you can see it's so dry, but just dip that in. The more you have on it, the bigger splatters, but you're just going to give it a little tap like so. I think that's enough. Pop that lid back on. Now, I always say this dries really quickly, and it does when I'm not on camera. So I'm just going to move that out of the way. Grab a wipe. He says, doesn't have a wipe, but I have some tissues. Just give that a little wipe over. Like so. Wonderful. That's just gonna dry, he says. And then we're gonna finish it off with some embellishment, and then we're going to attach it to our card base. So, in fact, let's just quickly Okay, I think that's dry. Probably would have dried okay on its own. That's a bit wet. Just really secure that. It's more of these big blobs here that I'm concerned about, not the little ones. Deep breath. Okay, grabbing some foam tape now. Just gonna pop this on the back. So now I know there's a lot of dimension on this card. I mean, it's 4 dimensions high. But I feel the dimension's the key to making this card work. Oh, nearly cut my finger. Because you want it to have an impact. Like if you're making a card, you want it to have impact. Bring this in. I'm just gonna flip this round so I can peel off the foam tape. Like so. And last but not least. And now the tricky part is getting it straight on camera. Oh, in fact, I need to add some jewels. So I have just got some gold gems, and you can see here I've got multiple packs on the go. I don't have any tweezers though. Let's just grab a pokey tool. So you're gonna go, he says, a big one, kind of here, a medium-sized one, here, and then a small one. Here, like so. Now, is it just me, or do the small ones always go first? You always run out of the small ones and left with lots of the big ones. So I'm just going to pop that one on the edge there, and then I'm just going to grab another small one. Now, a tip that I would say is don't press them down until you know you're happy with them, because that's just going to help you balance. Or you can move around those. Once you've pressed it down, that it's secure and in place. I'm probably just going to pop a double height dimension or foam adhesive in there. So just to help secure it, and probably one down here as well. And I mean, I mess around with this a lot. It doesn't help that I've gone in and blasted it with my heat tool afterwards, because it's just going to help with the warping. But that's just going to help balance it out a little bit more. Let's get one more. And pop it behind there. Like so. Wonderful. And there you have, oh, let me stand up and zoom in, the card using the March product release from Papertrey Ink. I should have it somewhere. It's the Always in Bloom stamp set and coordinating die, and the Reflections stamp and coordinating die. It's truly fabulous. You'll love this product, and I know I am going to be using it a lot more in future cards, so make sure you come back and check it out. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please make sure you like and subscribe. It goes to helping me achieve my wildest dreams of becoming a full-time card maker, he says. Anyway, I'll see you later. Have a lovely day. Goodbye.